Barr has also been placed on IR now, so he gone. Torn pectoral with this one. He was doubtful with a shoulder injury um, against the Colts to return in the second quarter. Now he's just on IR with a season-ending injury. Now, for what it is worth, through the 94 snaps that he played this season, Barr did only have a PFF grade of 45.2, and I know some people hate PFF, some people don't, some people put too much, some people don't. But, with it being so early in the season, I think the actual grade could be rather useful because overall statistics, not a big sample size. But because overall you don't, when you look at stats, you don't really see anything that you can't replace or should be like something so astronomical that's like, well, now we're screwed, we don't have Barr. I don't think that's necessarily the case statistically. He was targeted 3 times, he allowed 3 completions. His yards per completion was 6.7 yards. Yards per target, 6.7. A quarterback rating of 94.4 went against him. They blitzed him only 9 times. Surprising given the lack of pass rush we've seen from the majority of their players. He had 1 hurry, 1 pressure, and had 6 total tackles. Now, yards per completion is actually down from last season. He allowed 9.3 yards per target, 6.7. He went 6.8 last year, so pretty similar there. So it looked like maybe coverage could have gotten a little better, potentially, from him. So that's a little disappointing. Even though I think in Green Bay at times there were certainly times where you saw him struggle. There were times where you saw both Kendricks and Barr kind of occupying the same space. When there was a back leaking out, it's pretty simple. Go to him. He didn't do that. That's why some of those flats were not, covered against the Packers. But now, 4th-round rookie Troy Dye. We're going to also have Eric Wilson and now newly added Ryan Connolly from the Giants they picked up off of waivers before the season started will be relied on a lot more heavily, especially since Gideon is not healthy yet. And this could actually be a potential problem for Anthony Barr because he is on the books for a $15.5 million cap hit in 2021. So if we have, Wilson, he's also an impending free agent after this season, but he would not be occupying $15.5 million. And if he did well, do that. Troy Dye, he's a rookie, but if he's able to wrestle time away from Eric Wilson, who I assume will be the starting linebacker next to Kendricks in most situations, if he can pry time away from him, kind of wrestle him down for that, we could potentially see Dye emerge. And if he does emerge and is opportunistic with the times he gets, we could see Anthony Barr kind of play with a different uniform on next season. And I'm not sure if people would hate that or not. I've always kind of been on the side of things where I don't think we use Barr enough in the pass rushing department to warrant the kind of money he makes. So I was still on board for Sheldon Richardson versus Anthony Barr. And Sheldon Richardson seems like he would help pretty nicely right about now. And yeah, with the IR spot, they didn't, from what I saw, they did not make a corresponding move to the active roster. And personally, what makes sense to me is don't fill the spot. Hunter's supposed to only be gone for 3 weeks. This is week 3. You might as well leave the spot open for Danielle Hunter, I think. Unless you want to go sign an actual nose tackle, which Shamar Stephen still is not. He has not been, he has never been, and he never will be a sufficient nose tackle, which is one reason why you saw them sign Michael Pierce in the first place. It's kind of amazing they haven't thought of, replacing that, even though they have acknowledged that interior defensive line spot was going to be a problem in the sense they did try to trade for P.J. Hall. Obviously, it didn't go through, but they did. And here we are. So unless you're going to do that, I think you just keep that spot open for Hunter because we already have enough linebackers, I think, to kind of fill the spots. And, they also did sign Abduallah Anderson, a interior defensive lineman himself, to the practice squad. Now, he's 6'2", 303, and I could only find his pro day. He didn't do any bench press, but he had a 10-yard split of 1.75, which is not bad. That's pretty decent, pretty good actually for an interior defensive lineman, and a 40-yard dash time of 5.12. So not horrible there either. So athletically, he should be fine. And he did play a little bit with the Bears last year. He got a sack, 2 hurries, 3 pressures, 1 quarterback hit. He had 3 solo tackles, 4 total tackles, and 1 tackle for loss. So he only did play 106 snaps for the Bears to get those numbers, but I think there's enough there to at least be intrigued, which is why he's now on the practice squad, and especially with how poorly the Vikings interior defensive linemen have played so far, yeah, there's definitely enough to warrant that, because through 2 weeks they have not been good. It has been bad. It's been nothing but pushing up front, and there has been nearly no resistance, and that's been a major problem. And I don't know if that can get fixed this year without signing an actual nose tackle. I don't think they have the guys on the roster to physically hold up at times, and that was kind of Michael Pierce's role. Didn't have anyone to replace Michael Pierce once Michael Pierce went and opted out. So I think that's kind of showing its horns a bit here, and that's going to continue to be a problem. But Hunter should be back soon, and I think you just keep that IR spot open for him. Hopefully when Hunter comes back, we'll see more one-on-ones across the board just because Hunter is Hunter. So hopefully that will improve the defensive line all over the board and not just the edge rushing problems, even though I think Ngakoue had a pretty decent day against the Colts, actually. But, yeah, I would like to know your guys' comments down below. I know, more injuries. It's unfortunate, but it is a part of the game that, happens. And I think there might be more because of the no preseason, but that is what it is. Like to know your comments down below, opinions, all that good stuff. Like and subscribing. Super helpful. And until next time, I bid y'all adieu.